So that might...
So maybe move the
That
scotch
might be
down the
better to
line.
finish with.
Maybe start with
the bourbons.
But I want to do Weller's last. Whatever. Fuck it.
Well, again, we could split it up if we do 2 or if we still try for 3 episodes.
We also don't have to be professional at all. I'm just suggesting.
We're not professional? What the fuck?
I feel like I sound different. What do I sound
Volume's
different?
low.
That maybe that's
I
why.
can turn you back up some.
You still sound pretty sexy to me.
Thanks. I sounded less sexy, so I needed.
That's unsettling, dude. Wait, don't turn the channel. You've tuned into High Gravity.
The show where we talk about beer, brewing, and bullshit.
Where the only thing we take seriously is the next round.
So grab a glass.
Fill it with something cold.
And enjoy the show.
So we've got some really strong stuff we're apparently starting this day with.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting change of pace. And,
I'm excited.
We've talked about this for a while, and I know it's beer and bullshit typically, but this could fall under the brewing category.
Oh, absolutely.
I probably should have planned it a little better because this is just from the closet in my office. Some of the stuff that I had. And if we planned it better, we could have had some better stuff. But
I'm glad you pulled this out of the closet, not some other stuff.
I wasn't in the closet to start with.
Well, I think
I didn't mean you. I meant what else is in there with you.
I think that this is plenty adequate because there are some things here that I've not had before, and
I'm
some,
excited.
Some things I'm slightly apprehensive about, but
And we were actually, for the show, we should only do 1 or 2 of these, but we decided to do 6 because, we're smart like that.
So today,
You're funny.
on High Gravity, we are having, whiskey and whiskey-like things. So bourbon, scotch, and moonshine.
How can you go wrong with that?
So, which are, to my understanding, are whiskey, and whiskey. Just,
Different variations, different forms.
yeah. Is whiskey not in itself just wonderful?
Yes.
I mean, they had to make all these different versions. They
I
couldn't
mean, I think bourbon's the best variation of it, personally. But
I've grown to like bourbon more and more.
yes.
It's I hear this sound that sounds like a swarm of like bees.
Yeah, it's called a saw.
Yeah,
There is construction going on in the back.
yeah. It's
Only so much we can do.
it's fine. It's not going to bother me.
They didn't get the memo. We're recording, so shut the hell up.
All right, so we should probably start. I ate a hearty breakfast today, so this was like the best time to do this.
I tried to eat a donut, and I made it about halfway through and gave my other half to Johnny.
Donuts and breakfast sandwich seems to be the breakfast of choice before we start drinking early on a Sunday.
Oh, that must be the bottle shop.
Sazerac?
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
Sazerac. is
Barrel
actually,
Select. Wine Village Liquor.
Oh, maybe that's where it was bought from. I have no idea. I didn't buy it.
Oh, that's a like a single barrel, a select thing.
Oh.
So they, what the hell is it called?
Eagle Rare.
I know that.
This is Eagle Rare 10-year. This is a long description. Do you want me to read this whole thing?
Sure.
Okay. Well, Eagle Rare Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
I'm already excited.
Not, I've had this once before, and I remember it getting better as the ice cube kind of melted a little bit for my taste. So it'll be nice to try it straight up. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the cornerstones of the birth of a nation, epitomized with an E though. Is that with an E?
Like the word?
They spelled it like epitome. Either way, I've never seen it spelled like that before, but okay. By the American bald eagle, the nation has come to represent the freedom, spirit, and independence of the individual, giving the world products and innovations that are uniquely its own. One such innovation was Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Early Kentucky settlers created bourbon, the true American spirit, in the late 1700s. By practice and protected by law, no other distilled spirit adheres to the standards as strict as those established for Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, and few other whiskeys can offer even a glimpse of the great whiskey making found in Eagle Rare. Eagle Rare 10-year Old Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, I'm tired of saying that already, has a sweet, oaky nose, and full, complex body, reminiscent of a fine port wine. This rare whiskey is best served neat or over ice. Of course, feel free to drink Eagle Rare in such classic cocktails as Manhattan or Whiskey Sour.
Is it weird? I'm super excited for this.
I mean, I was excited to hear his voice.
Don't tell me how to drink my whiskey.
Oh, I don't care about him. I'm excited for the description.
Let me see if I can get a cork pop.
Nice.
Smell good.
The cork actually does smell good.
So the barrel select means usually they bought the whole barrel, and then that barrel was bottled specifically for that store.
Yeah, we got to pour like really small pours.
I poured the smallest sample I could, and it even looks like it's too much.
Well, and any of this will not be dumped, either Daryl or myself.
So you're going to finish off each bottle?
No, we need.
Don't threaten me.
Oh,
with a good
no, we're not
time,
doing
but-
that.
We need a King's Cup to make our own blended whiskey. Boozy. Wow. Smells boozy.
Oh yeah.
It has like a caramel smell to me. I like it.
It is 45% alcohol, so this is 90 proof. Which is, not even the strongest thing we've drank on this show. Believe it or not.
No, we had beer higher than that.
That's the funny thing, is it was beer.
Oh my God, yeah, that's hilarious.
It was disgusting, but it was beer.
Oh yeah. This is far better than the beer.
This tastes much better than the beer.
This has got a nice nasal burn. Doesn't really burn drinking down.
It's very smooth. It's got a little heavier mouth texture than I guess I'd say a cheaper whiskey or cheaper bourbon.
I will say describing beer is so much easier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the flavors are much more subtle.
There is a whole theory in beer tasting, and there's a special on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon, something like that. I think it's called Neat. It's about bourbon. And the guy, it takes place in Buffalo Trace Distillery. And they talk about how they start people off with a 50-50 blend of bourbon and water. So you can pull out a lot more of those nuances when it's diluted a little bit because it's not so overpowering on your palate. And then the next sample is a little stronger. The one after that's a little stronger. So you work up to full strength. And it really helps you learn to develop that taste for the different parts of bourbon and whiskey tasting.
A little bit of like caramelly candy, almost like a bubble gum, like on the aftertaste, as it evaporates on my palate, like a little bit of like bubble gum.
The oak's not that bad.
No, it's definitely not.
Subtle
It's not tanniny.
No.
See, that's one thing I like a lot. I like to taste the tannins.
I don't like
really
it too
strong
tanniny though.
It's there, but it's subtle.
Yeah.
I think when I had this last time, I don't know if it was the 10-year, but the last Eagle Rare I had was much more tanniny than this. Like I remember it being like almost offensively tanniny.
I've had that, and that's I'm trying to remember which one. I think it was.
Now, see, these are the ones that I had in the office that I didn't finish yet. So, like the Blantons, the Maker's Marks, those are gone. These are the ones I just sip on once in a while.
The good stuff.
One of these isn't opened, so you haven't sipped on this
Well,
one yet.
that's because I just bought it.
I'm very, very
fresh.
excited for that one.
I am
see
too.
the bottle for 1 second. I want to see what that word
I
is.
was excited. I think.
I'm not gonna drink
you guys have hyped up another one of these quite high, but I was most excited about this because I had heard of Eagle Rare, and I went out of my way to try it because both of you and other people have kind of hyped it up, and it wasn't bad. I was a little disappointed for I think it was like a $25 pour, like a rocks pour.
Oh, what?
Eagle Rare.
Oh, shit.
And
okay.
So I was like, well, that's better than buying a bottle.
Yeah.
And this is nice. I guess it would depend on how much these bottles go for, whether this would be on my shelf or not. But
The regular, I want to say, is around $40. Most places charge 50 to 60.
That's not bad.
No, this one, the 10 is a little bit more than that.
see,
wanna
when I
say
looked
60
when I
to
looked it up,
80.
it was like 80. So it must have been Eagle 10 that I was
could
looking
be,
at.
So all these ones that I have here, though, I did not purchase any of these, so I couldn't tell you how much. Oh, no, I purchased one. My bad. I purchased one.
The most expensive one.
No, I think Blue Label's more expensive.
Is Blue Label more expensive? My brother drinks Johnny Walker, so I
don't know. I'm not normally a Johnny Walker guy.
I don't. I've never had a Johnny Walker that I like. I don't like Scotch.
I have had this Blue Label in my office and shelves for probably 12 years now. And that's as far as it's gotten.
So you're not a big fan?
It's okay. I'm not much of a scotch drinker though.
It's not a mixing
Good
liquor.
every now and then.
It's not something you have with Coke.
And normally when I drink it is with people that never had it that want to try it because
You gotta have a special occasion stuff in there. Where is? I'm
my-
looking on my list right now. I actually.
My special occasion
this
alcohol
might
is
be the
any of the
normal
number
Eagle Rare.
bottles of moonshine that people have left at my house.
So there's Eagle Rare, Double Eagle, Very Rare, and Eagle Rare 17. So I guess I thought regular Eagle Rare was 9 year for some reason, but I think Buffalo Trace is 9 year. Now that I think about it.
oh, I think most companies are just owned by Sazerac anyways.
Entirely possible. I mean, I am not much of a liquor expert. I pretty much the only time I drink liquor is Jameson. You know, there's always a bottle of Jameson at my house.
I became obsessed with Buffalo Trace and just all the variety that they have. And I
had their single barrel a while ago, and that was really nice.
that
was my Manhattan, or I'm sorry, my old fashioned go to.
nice. They had those across the street, and it was only $1 more than the regular.
Yeah, it wasn't expensive at all.
No, and it was fantastic. And then same company makes Blanton's, and then the Weller. That's a list of everything that Buffalo Trace makes.
That's a lot. It's a lengthy list.
I made it.
So for those of you that can't see it, it's a long list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm scrolling up and down on a list in my notes.
it's got to be at least 2-3 things.
At least 3 items, yeah.
At least 3.
a few. Oh, I forgot I did finally have that one. Yeah.
This is nice, though. This was a good place to start. I feel like this is a nice baseline bourbon.
Oh yeah.
I enjoy it. I think it's very nice. It's got a very subtle sweetness to it. I think that anybody who wants to drink more straight bourbon would probably be pretty satisfied with this.
Eagle Rare is very good. It's not your bottom of the barrel. It's definitely a step into better quality.
I think this would satisfy any palate. Anyone who likes whiskey or
Yeah.
bourbon would probably enjoy this.
Yeah.
Or alcohol.
Depends. Well, I mean, I know people who like alcohol who don't like whiskey.
Well, that's true.
You know, like some people, they're like, oh, I don't like tequila. I don't like vodka. I don't like whiskey. And those people usually drink gin because they're sick bastards.
I've had some phenomenal gins though.
So gin, like bourbon, is one of those things I had.
It's an acquired taste.
Well, I had 1 or 2 bourbons, and I'm like, I don't like these. And so I would never drink them.
Yeah.
And same thing with gin. I'd had like 1 or 2 gins, and I'm like, I don't like these. So I'd never get them. And then eventually people are like, you got to try this bourbon. You got to try this bourbon. You got to try this bourbon. And I'm like, I was like, oh, there is good bourbon. There are things that I like that are called bourbon. But I don't know enough gin people who drink enough to force me to try gins.
I had one that was over 100 years old once. It was just by age. It was barreled back or bottled back in the early 1900s. It was recovered from the bottom of Lake Huron when it was legal to take things up.
Wait, gin or bourbon?
Gin.
Okay.
Yeah, so the guy who acquired it, excuse me, thought for about 40, so obviously I'm going to leave names out for reasons. So the bottle was acquired from a ship that was known to be carrying whiskey. And when the ship sank, all the cargo, half the cargo spilled out onto the bottom of the lake. And over the years, people picked over it. Well, this guy found a bottle that was unopened. He recovered it. This back when it was legal to do that. It's now, federally not legal. But he did it when it was legal, and he preserved it. He dipped the top in wax to keep it sealed. And the idea was to drink it on the 100th anniversary of the sinking of the ship. So there was a group of people that got together that were specially invited to this tasting to taste this 100-bottle-year-old whiskey.
Gin.
Spent 70,
I'm
80
paying
years of
attention.
his life on the river. Well, that was the thing. He didn't know it was gin.
Oh, he thought it was
You just ruined the story.
Yeah. Kinda,
No, I added context. I fixed it.
No, you kind of ruined it.
Good.
That was the whole thing. Is he didn't realize, you could see enough of the label. It was like 1902. It was bottled, and the ship sank in 1913. And he just got it and sealed it right away, and you couldn't tell from the color of the bottle. Well, the day he went to pour it out, the cork just disintegrated, so he strained it. And it was then he discovered it was gin, not whiskey, that he'd been holding on to for 40 years or whatever it was. And everybody there, a lot of people are not gin people. It was the smoothest, best tasting gin any of us had ever had. And there were a couple people that were very gin fanatics. Everybody absolutely loved it, but it was a very cool event. We all went to dinner at Freighter's. We all had a full, nice fancy dinner. We all went outside.
Is Freighter still open?
And it's called something else now, I think.
Yeah.
But we all went outside, and he had a nice little, story, and we did a salute to all the fallen, seamen and everything of that year, everybody that died in that storm.
Let's have a shot to the fallen seamen, Daryl.
Yeah. All joking aside,
I was going to make a joke on the falling seamen, but we'll leave that alone.
I got there first, as is typical.
Yeah, you did.
With the falling seamen.
Well, this was a very honorable
I normally get there
event.
last. I'm nice like that.
Moving on.
Hey, we're only one taste in, so
Oh, yeah.
stay tuned to next week's episode.
So this one, climbing up the ladder in ABV slightly, Elijah Craig Single Barrel, another Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, private barrel, BB's and Wine Village. Interesting. Barrel serial number 6834767.
Phenomenal choice.
I'm glad you read that.
Yep, I need it just in case people want to look it up. 116.1 proof for a 58.05% alcohol. This might be the only thing we've ever had that goes down into the second decimal place. We go down into the hundreds there.
So now Elijah Craig, we use that for the SOB smoked oak bourbon stout that comes out in November. We normally buy a barrel.
That's coming this year, right?
It's coming this year, but it's not going to be
better.
Elijah Craig because I could not get an Elijah Craig barrel this year.
So you're changing the recipe.
So when we get to it, we'll talk about it. Maybe we might like it better. We might not like it as much. We'll see.
I can't react unbiased here because I know.
You're gonna like it.
Oh, I know.
We'll see when we get to that
I
bottle.
have to keep the illusion of not knowing, though, until...
It's sitting in front of you. How do you not know
But the listeners don't know that.
that you're sitting in front of the bottles?
That you're using for... You just gave the whole thing away. Man, y'all fucking everything up today.
Anybody that's on Facebook will see the post Darrow made.
Yes,
That's true.
You already know what we're going to.
It's interesting. It has a distinctly
way
different
sweeter. Yeah.
different smell.
It smells a lot sweeter.
Yeah.
A lot sweeter.
Wow. Yeah, what's the word I'm looking for there?
I feel like I can't... A brown sugar note, like in the nose to me.
Like when I stick my nose in here and inhale, wow, like it gives you like a head rush. Like it's the alcohol evaporating off of this. Like it went right into my brain.
It tastes hot.
It does taste hotter, but it's not like going down my throat or anything.
Doesn't
hot,
burn the
but
gullet.
Yeah,
Just the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, that gave me
just the mouthfeel.
that gave me goosebumps. Wow. I mean, it is definitely hotter. I mean, it's higher alcohol content by 26 proof,
But that's-
higher than the last one.
That barrel aged stout that we end up making, sitting in this type of a barrel, pulls the tannins and just the flavors off of it really well.
It's phenomenal. I mean, that's hands down one of my favorite beer here.
Yeah, you can taste like the strong bourbony boozy note from this in the stout. Like it's got that nice punch to it without being like offensively boozy, but you definitely get the same boozy kind of characteristic that both these carry comes through to the beer really nicely. Which when I drink a barrel aged stout, I kind of like when you get to taste the barrel, like when it's fresh.
Oh yeah.
And then after a year or two of aging, in like a bottle or something, when some of that kind of ages out and you get more of the subtlety of the beer, I like both those experiences for their own reasons.
Now, when we first started making the SOB, back when we were homebrewing, so 15, however many years ago, we used to soak the oak chips in Elijah Craig, and then we put the oak chips in to the stout secondary, just to let them soak for a while. And then when we were done, before we bottled them, we would actually take Elijah Craig and pour it in. So it was a lot higher alcohol content than we actually had.
Fortified.
Yeah. But then once we open the brewery up, you can't do that because you can't have liquor into your beers for issues. So now you have to have the barrel, make sure it's all cleaned out, there's nothing in it. And so now it's soaked. So we age it for 10 months. And we've always used Elijah Craig, except for this year. Because last year we ended up having we actually didn't launch the SOB last year.
I know.
Because last year got contaminated.
I haven't forgotten that either.
And I don't know if it had to do with the pH balance or something wrong with the barrel. So we're taking a little more precautions this year.
Yeah, I would say 9 times out of
through.
10, it's the barrel's fault.
Yeah. Because we never had a problem before. So.
No. Whenever we've done barrel aged beers with like the homebrew boys, we will get a fresh barrel, we'll use it once, and then that's it. Like then it's repurposed to a planting pot. Like actually, my buddy Dan had several of the old barrels. He had hops planted in them.
Oh, nice.
He's got quite an impressive little hop yard. He's got a nice sized backyard and quite a few varieties of hops that he has moved from one house to another, and they've flourished.
We talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Where's that Bill?
I know the barrel had those antique hops.
Yeah.
If you remember the ones that were like found just out in the middle of that field, and who knows how old they are, what they are. We had that. He had. Was it a beer that we had? Yeah, it was a beer that he had made with those hops.
Two. Yeah, there were two breweries that had made it.
Yes.
Yes. Two different versions.
That's
two different
what it was.
versions using the same.
Because I know he brought a lot of his ciders and things like that. So I was trying to remember which
that
beers.
That was a good day.
Yeah, it was which two breweries was it? Drafting Table? Was that one of them? No, Cadillac Straits.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking of.
One of them.
Yeah,
I don't remember the other. I'm sorry.
Either way, onto this bourbon. I'm having trouble putting descriptors to it. Like the scent, like the aroma to me is very like
cedar.
It smells caramely sweet.
I get a bit
real
of cedar
sweet.
in the nose. That's what it is.
I will
wood.
say,
Yeah, woody, but almost like wood and drywall. Like
I don't smell drywall.
it's got a really dry kind of like fucking sheetrock smell.
I don't get that. Like I said, I get more cedar.
But it's not in a bad way. Like I'm not trying to use that descriptor as a bad way, but like it's like, when you're like mud and drywall and you're sanding it, like it's that's the smell. Like I get a touch of that.
No, I get sweet wood. And
that too.
I will say it's definitely
It's a
harder
lot
to drink
sweeter.
than the Eagle Rare.
Yeah.
It is. Every time
more in your face.
Every time I
More
stick
in
my
your
nose in this glass and I take a deep breath, like I get lightheaded. Like the booziness coming off of this is like going right into my brain. I feel like you could huff this bottle.
I
and
saw
get
one
drunk.
of it was what the hell, like a CPAP machine, but it's just on the nose. It was one of those videos on the Facebook feed. It's like, don't do this at home, and the guy's sitting there and pulls the tray out, just starts dumping whiskey in it and closes it back. I was like, don't try this at home.
No, if you inhale alcohol vapor, it bypasses your liver and goes right into your brain. You can die very quickly from that.
Oh yeah.
It's not impossible to do.
I'm still here.
As we sit here huffing it.
Shut up, Dan. I don't know. The aftertaste is nice. It's definitely drier.
This would be better as a mixer, I think, than straight.
It works really well on a stout.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I think
this blended with anything would hold up. Yeah, very
it's
bold.
Bold. It's boozy, but it's not like it's not boozy in necessarily a bad way. It's definitely like if you're drinking it straight,
there.
you're gonna notice that there's booze in it.
Once you get past that alcohol, though, it's got
it smooths out.
Yeah, phenomenal characteristics to it.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So now this next one though is
I'm gonna rinse my glasses.
is Main Stop here in Richmond bought a barrel, so it's their barrel select, and they ended up selling the bottles, and he had the barrel sitting over there. So since I couldn't get an Elijah Craig barrel, ended up picking up the barrel that these were sitting in. So I'm kind of interested to taste this next one to see how it compares to the Elijah Craig that we use previously versus how smooth the Eagle Rare was. And then we'll see in November how it tastes.
You have to open this bottle.
I'm excited.
Oh, I do? Okay.
For many reasons.
It's your fancy bottle.
You want to read it? Because I haven't said the name yet either.
Sure, I can read it before we open it up. So, it's a very nice label. Beautiful, deep, dark blue and gold. The original wheated bourbon. Full proof. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, 57% alcohol by volume, 114 proof. This is Weller. And like Daryl mentioned, this is a barrel select Weller. So, single barrel bottles. And once again, super long descriptions. How come we don't get beers with these kind of descriptions?
We do if we go to Untapped on a lot of them.
William Lowry Weller developed his original bourbon recipe with wheat rather than rye, giving his bourbon a softer and smoother taste. This, combined with the philosophy of honest whiskey at an honest price. That is a bold-faced lie for this bottle. helped propel his bourbon to a renowned status. Bottled at 114 proof, this bourbon foregoes chill filtration, leaving behind all of the naturally occurring oils from the aging process and preserving the full flavor of the bourbon. A whiskey that satisfies the demand of the whiskey enthusiast, honoring the man who made wheated bourbon legendary. They just repeat themselves. Foregoing the chill filtration may leave a small amount of sediment in the whiskey and cause it to appear cloudy at cold temperatures. But this will be expected, and particulates that may be observed are the result of the limited handling after aging. That is a very long-winded and fancy way to say, yo, dude, like it's
dirty,
gonna,
but
it
it's
might
cool.
look like shit, but it's supposed to look like shit, bro. Like.
So just real quick, this is the Main Stop Deluxe Barrel Select, right? The Eagle Rare, they had the same thing. Eagle Rare is owned by Sazerac. Weller's is owned by Sazerac.
Yeah.
They own a lot of it.
Yeah, didn't you miss the whole thing? I just said that whole list is all by Buffalo Trace Distillery.
Yeah, I saw the list. I didn't see what was on it though. I just like scrolling.
No.
Both of these.
And no one else saw it either.
No one
I mean,
ever, no one ever
none of our
listens to
listeners
Johnny.
saw
It's
it, okay?
I know that.
We've had countless beers that are owned by like InBev, you know,
Yeah.
like Goose Island.
Yep.
You know, if you ever look at how many breweries they own, so it's almost as if capitalism has allowed monopolies to flourish, and it's just a board game now.
I wish I thought we were doing these today. I have the red bottle, the Antique 107 I would have brought up. And I've been saving
Ooh,
yeah.
that was a nice sound.
I'm excited.
It's a cool bottle. It's got like the like that kind of like bubbled neck.
Maybe I want to try a lot of that one.
Yeah, that's a little much there.
I'll give you a little more than that.
I guess. You're good.
Yeah, see, I'll pour mine, so I won't be as
I pour it
heavy-handed
really
as
heavy.
Darrow.
I mean, that's only a half an ounce or 4.
It's hard to pour just a little bit. That the glass on that's really thick, so it's hard to get like just a little pour.
I know what it is, and I don't want to drink a lot of it on you, but
It smells really good.
yeah.
Like it smells like it's not overpowering on a sweet
I
or
say
an
it
oak.
Smells
really-
smooth.
Yeah.
It almost kind of smells somewhere in between the last two. Like
I would
not
agree with
quite as
that.
like caramely as the Eagle, but not quite as like sharp. And
Still has the boozy nose
boozy.
smell though.
Yeah,
a
oh,
little
yeah.
bit, but it's not as strong as the Elijah Craig smelled.
Well, wait, you tasting this first. I gotta wait.
oh, that's a nice smell.
Oh, that's terrible. Give it to me.
I gotta try it for myself first.
It's not as bold a flavor, but it is smooth. It's got that harshness to it still.
Oh wow.
I don't know that. I don't think I'd be able to pick it out of a lineup, being like, yes, this is wheat. It is very smooth and mellow. The
alcohol.
I don't think it has
fit-
as much flavor to it as like the
No, it's
Elijah.
got a
No.
lot more. I was
Not
not,
as-
expecting.
Or even
Not
the
as
Eagle
bold.
Rare seems just like lighter and smoother.
and the mouthfeel falls in between kind of the two of them. Not quite as heavy as Eagle Rare, but not quite as
The
thin.
alcohol burn finishes a lot more on this, though.
Yes.
It's quick though.
Yeah.
Like the burn just kind of hits you and then it goes away instantly. It's not like the Elijah Craig that like the burn kind of stung you for a second.
Yeah. There's a bit of sweetness in the finish, though, too.
A little bit.
I like that.
A little bit. It's very drinkable. It's
Oh, yeah.
very, very
I'd get in trouble with it.
very light.
Yeah.
It actually tastes really good.
Yes. The more I'm having it, the more I'm liking it.
I almost want a cigar right now.
Yeah.
If I smoked, I would agree.
I
I mean, I could feel, I don't know the taste of a cigar, but the smell would complement it nicely.
think I like the Eagle Rare a little better. Just a touch. This is good though. I like this better than the Elijah Craig.
I like this one better than Elijah Craig for sure.
That
But
was,
I'm just hoping the barrel pulls those bold flavors out.
it might,
you get it
I
in that
feel that'll
stout.
be a little light.
Yeah, this is very subtle. I would be very curious. Well, I guess it depends on the beer and
And how much Weller's I pour in it. No, I do not do that.
how much Weller's soaked
He's
into
joking.
the wood.
He's kidding. I mean, could you, in theory, do that? Like, rinse the barrel out with this and then fill it?
No, you have to. Barrel has to be 100% empty.
Yep. Can't
Gotcha.
have any issues with it. Can't have any traces of liquor in
The
it.
host liquor.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I mean, it's a sanitizing wash.
Yeah, that's true.
Not that you want to pour that expensive of a bottle to rinse the barrel out, but I mean, in all fairness, it came from the barrel, though.
Oh. You know, the barrel is sealed, so it'll still have the flavors in the wood.
Oh yeah, that should.
At that point, it's kind of like deep frying chicken. You're bathing it in its offspring and then coating it in flour and frying it.
Delicious.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
I don't dislike this at all.
That was amazing. I think you're
very
not
subtle.
upset
I poured a big pour.
Yeah, it is very subtle.
I don't want to ask for more.
This is. It's not.
I will.
It's not super bold. Yeah. It's not super boozy. Like it feels like it has all the characteristics of the other two, just like even toned down. But all the characteristics, both the volume turned down.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go through this though. How much did you say that Eagle Rare was? Did you look it up?
I didn't look it up. So normally between 40 and 60 typically.
So 40 and 60 for the Eagle Rare. This Weller's Barrel Select 200. So there's a difference on price. I mean, a little bit of a taste difference, you can tell. Yeah. Definitely if you're a snob.
Also, a big thing with this is foolproof. This is straight out of the barrel into the bottle.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So the Eagle Rare is proofed down a little bit.
Yeah. It's about 9% different. Yeah. 8% different, I think. Yeah.
But still, if you want a good one for the taste, Eagle Rare tastes great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I said, anything. The only one I've had is, I think it's Benchmark. Is it Benchmark? Yeah, it's the lowest quality denominator that they seem to make. Like it's like $8 a fifth, $10, $15 a fifth versus like $30 for Buffalo Trace.
And I'm sure someone out there's listening and cringing and saying, "No, the Weller's is the way to go. Spend the money."
Oh yeah, yeah.
But sometimes I like to be cheap.
That's the subtlety. Like people's palates, they're all going to be different.
Oh yeah, I base it this way: do I just want to get buzzed up, or do I want to enjoy what I'm drinking?
What about both?
Oh, then I split the difference.
There you go.
I'm old enough now that if I'm going to get drunk, I'm going to enjoy myself. But like my tastes aren't typically really crazy. I like Jameson and PBR. Yeah. I don't have to be fancy. No, but I like a craft beer too. So
when I started down the bourbon trail, I started with some cheaper stuff. There's still, I guess my bottom of the barrel is Jim Beam. There's nothing wrong with it. It's decent, but I started drinking more Makers or getting into the Wellers and the Buffalo Trace, and then I'll go back to that. And it's like, no. But if it's been a while, I can drink it and I don't notice.
The more I drink it, the more I like it.
Oh, yeah.
I like this one a lot.
Yes. It's phenomenal.
So next year, at the end of this year, he's getting a Stag Junior barrel.
That'd be cool.
And I've never had Stag Junior.
Me either.
I heard it's good and high end from what I've heard, but I have no idea. So next year's SOB barrel, we will be using Stag Junior.
I'm excited. For like your 100th anniversary, if you're still here at that time,
I won't be here.
You got to do like Pappy Van Winkle for that one.
Yeah, but I won't be here.
Maybe. Who knows? Vincent's in technology by then.
Our guest has arrived.
Oh, most excellent.
Well, we should probably have him jump in the middle of this, even though he missed some good stuff already.
Yeah, do we want to take a quick pause?
We can. I don't care.
Yeah, back after the message from who knows who.
DarylStildos.com.
Here's to you, high-gravity podcast listener, the warrior in the battle of life who's not afraid to take a break, kick back, and pop open a cold one. You've had a day of nonstop emails, endless meetings, and deadlines that never seem to end. But here you are, beer in hand, ready to dive into the deep, malty world of craft brewing. And by God, you deserve it. You're not just a casual drinker. Oh no, you're the beer aficionado, the lager lover, the ale advocate. You relish the sound of a freshly cracked beer, the sudsy pour into your favorite chilled glass, the first sip that says, "Congratulations, you made it through another day." So cheers to you, Mr. High Gravity Podcast listener. Because when life gets tough, you know there's always a great beer waiting at the end of the day, and damn it, that's something to be proud of. And remember, in the world of brewing, the beer glass is always half full.
Put the headphones on. What you hear is what's being recorded. You're just going to get as close to the mic as you can. You get, a little more. You can go there. So pull that close to you. You want to talk into as much. So, like, if I'm talking to Daryl right now, you see I'm nowhere near the mic. You can barely hear me. But if I come back and talk to you, you hear it pretty clear.
Yep.
So that works the same if you look to me or Jim or Daryl.
Yeah, like a nose distance away from the mic.
Okay.
So pivot around it, though, as you're talking, and that'll just make sure that we
I just imagine like I'm getting ready to eat it.
We're just going to be constantly orbiting
Please,
it.
Yes.
please don't stuff the mic in your mouth, though.
That's not where I was putting it.
I'm so glad I hit this button a little bit ago.
Johnny's sneaky about that. So
Generally, assume
What?
if the
He's
headphones
recording?
are on.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
we have a guest who has arrived, who's been on the podcast before. He's been on some of
I
our
forgot about
special
that.
episodes. Welcome, Keith.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, yay, Keith is here.
That didn't sound right. I'm not going to do that again.
I've known Keith for a long time. He's a regular karaoke up here as well, and Mug Club member as of this year.
Mug
Mug
Club
Club member,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
I only messed up 2 years in a row, so
Welcome to the cult, brother.
That's right.
appreciate it.
So we poured him a little bit of the Weller. This is the the most expensive bottle that we've tried so far. It's a wheated bourbon whiskey bourbon, Kentucky.
Smells nice. First one of the day, so.
Yeah, right. First one of the day. Might as well start, with a Weller.
I was going to say, have you guys already...
We've
Yes,
we've
we
tried
were
this.
talking about
that's
it.
our third.
Oh, okay.
This is our third bourbon.
But out of the three, I do like this one more. But for the price,
For the price, the Eagle Rare, like the Eagle Rare level, the Buffalo Trace, it's hard to beat that price point. If you want something good or a step up, I think they're great blends.
I'm not sure if Keith made the extremely happy face over there or.
That's pretty solid. I'm a fan of that.
Oh yeah,
That's great.
It's smooth.
yes.
I would argue that the Eagle Rare was smoother.
Ooh.
Maybe we should taste it again.
Okay.
I don't think it was smoother.
I'm going to take a little nip of the Eagle Rare after I'm
mean-
going to rinse my glass a little bit here, but not that that's probably wholly necessary, but I'm going to be a purist.
Okay, so when you say smoother, though, look at the alcohol content between the two, too.
8% difference. Yeah, 8%. Yeah, which is significant. But I think the alcohol bite on the Weller, I feel like just up front they're both equally smooth. But I feel like when I swallow it, like when it goes across my palate, you
What's
guys
the
want
proof on that one?
45%, so 90 proof. That one's 58,
114 proof.
or what was it, 57?
57, yeah.
So yeah,
A little bit.
yeah. I kind of feel like the alcohol didn't bite the back of my palate as much on the Eagle Rare as what I remember.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Oh,
I just handed you the bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, you're pouring it, okay.
Yeah, the Eagle Rare has no bite on the back of the palate at
So
all.
it's slightly more diluted. I mean, straight up.
It's not
It
that.
still has a little bite,
Oh, but
but not like, you're right, not like the Weller did.
Yeah.
But also,
I taste what you're tasting. There's more body to it.
Yeah, it's got more body. Like,
Yeah.
like they added like glycerin to it or something. Or
I don't think the mouthfeel is as nice.
No, I would agree with that.
the mouthfeel's heavier. It's got
With
a
this?
thicker
With this,
mouthfeel,
yeah.
but that again could be attributed to the less alcohol content. There's only 45.
Why am I pouring like 2 to 4 ounces at a time? This is dumb.
Yeah, Daryl, I was curious about that too. I was
So
also
we're said now we're gonna have to record next week because we're only gonna get one in this
Yeah.
week.
I was apprehensive about going back and trying the Eagle Rare again because we still have some other things to sample, but I needed a juxtaposition. I needed to justify my opinion.
It was a good point. As you bring that back and the differences are there.
I like the Weller better.
I would agree, but
It's good, but I like the Weller better.
for a weekend,
doubling down.
For a weekend sipper, I think the Eagle Rare, for special occasions, something you want to actually sit and enjoy a more full glass of, I would say the Well.
I know you
now
just
that-
came in and you just back to back them, Keith. What do you think?
I'll be honest. The Eagle I would go to 9 out of 10 times, and just like what Johnny's saying, I like the Weller. I enjoyed more in the sense that like if I wanted to really taste it and enjoy it,
Yeah.
like that's the one I'm going
A
to go
sipper.
for. But like
If you
I mean,
want to drink a lot of it, the Eagle Rare.
yeah, but if it's like a Friday night, I just want to want a little
Now,
glass. Then I'm
did
gonna
we
go for
did
the
we
Eagle.
tell them what the price points were on these?
No, I have not heard.
So the Eagle Rare is about $40 to $60.
Okay.
The Weller's about $200.
That changes it quick.
That makes the difference.
You want to sip and enjoy that one.
But I'm almost curious now because I forgot. I should probably taste the Weller again.
Well, let's go back to the Eagle. We'll try that one again. And next thing you know, it'll be 2 in the afternoon. And,
with the Elijah Craig.
yeah, it'll be 2 in the afternoon, and Daryl will be shit-faced sleeping on the table.
Sorry, what was the first one? We need to go back to that.
Yeah,
one.
let's go try that again. Yeah, I'm doubling down. I think for my money, Eagle Rare.
For the money, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't think I would. I wouldn't mix either of those. I think the Elijah Craig is closer to a mixer for me, but the Eagle Rare and the Weller, I would not. These would not be mixing bourbons.
So I will say this, and there's a lot of people that are going to crucify me for what I'm about to say, but I don't care. So I have taken I have 2 different Wellers and the Eagle Rare and Blanton's and Buffalo Trace, and when I mix them, I'm using the real glass bottle Coca-Cola. And it is phenomenal. The compliments. Now, when I mix, keep in mind, I mix strong, so it's predominantly bourbon still. But just how the real Coca-Cola blends with it, not the plastic bottle bullshit that you get at your gas station.
Real
It's
sugar.
the real
Cane
sugar Mexican Coke in the glass bottle.
I love that it's
phenomenal.
like colloquially known as Mexican Coke because
know, right?
it comes from Mexico because it has the sugar in it.
Yeah.
And I remember there was like, when they got the sample people at the grocery store, and one of them was doing samples of real sugar Coca-Cola. And it came in these like smaller 8-ounce bottles when the Mexican Coke is like the huge bottle.
Yeah, big 12.
And like they were like this green label and it was very like Americanized and it's like, it's made with real sugar. And they were charging like, and this was maybe 10 or 15 years ago. And it was like $10 for a 6-pack. And I'm like, this is just the Coke that comes from Mexico.
Yeah.
Like you guys are just bottling it for an American audience and like these fucking stupid Americans won't know the difference.
It's literally a packaging difference. That's it.
I have Mexican Coca-Cola here. And we can mix and try it.
You've got the cane sugar.
The cane sugar, yeah. We could retry all 3 of these again.
I'm okay with this.
No, we have 3 more to move on.
Now, see, the problem is now I'm like super craving like a Coke, like a real sugar Coke.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny. Come
Yeah.
on now.
I'm not going to apologize, and I know a Mexican store you can get it's like 1 1/4 liter.
We've got it on
Coke.
tap
It's
right
amazing.
here. Cane sugar Coca-Cola, baby. Same recipe.
Coca-Cola.
Well, no, it's not. It's cola.
cola.
It's cola. Listen, if after 150 fucking years, the soda industry has not figured out how to make a Coca-Cola clone, then are we even a modern society?
It's so much harder without Coke.
I know a guy.
And we're not talking Coca-Cola.
See, I like my Coke Colombian by way of Mexico.
Did you ever try the 1893 Pepsi?
Oh yeah, they had that
my
like.
God, was that good?
See, my wife's a Pepsi drinker, and
I'm sorry.
I like Pepsi. I prefer it over Coke, to be honest with you.
Depends what I'm using it
What's
for.
wrong with
Yeah,
you?
it would just straight drinking. I'd rather
Coca-Cola.
drink a Pepsi.
Nah,
now
Coca-Cola. Too much sugar.
Now on like a fountain, I like a fountain Coke. Like Jimmy John's or
That's fair.
McDonald's, like a fountain Coke, it just hits different.
McDonald's Coke is unbeatable. As much as I dislike McDonald's,
It's a separate
their
recipe.
Coca-Cola. It is.
is.
It's special.
It's like a. I remember when I was
chemicals.
When I was younger, everything's chemicals.
It's the stainless containers. That's like the only difference, and it's a little more syrup than like anywhere
When
else. It's
I
the
remember
only
when I was a
difference.
younger man and we'd drink all night and you get up hungover and go to the diner in the morning, like a big tall glass of fountain Coke with your breakfast. Like it was like a magical hangover cure, that ice cold sweet beverage.
I've had it settle my stomach, so I can imagine.
Well, I
that
used to drink
hangover
Coke syrup
problem.
when I was a kid. My parents would give me like the actual they sell
Christ.
no they sell bottles of it. It used to be like
really?
a medicinal thing. Yeah, you take a little bit of Coke syrup and you pour it over ice and like you kind of supposedly it was supposed to
unaware
help
of
your
that.
stomach, but I don't know that it did. I think it was just like when you're a kid and you're getting sick, they're just like you need to get electrolytes and liquids into you and this will help.
It's true.
I mean, whatever works.
It's the same
I
thing
ain't
as
gonna judge.
my brother and my grandpa always drank blackberry brandy when they had a cold.
Oh, I love blackberry brandy.
Yep.
I had a buddy of mine and that's Jason. He donated some beers a while back. Whenever we're at a bar, that's usually we're doing shots of blackberry brandy. That's good stuff.
Haven't had blackberry brandy. Just saw
been a while.
blackberry crown in the store.
That is really good.
Really?
I tried it at a friend's house. I'm not a fan of Crown most of the time. I got a couple bad memories associated with that. but Blackberry Crown was incredible. It was way better than I expected.
Because I'm already a pretty big Crown fan. I'll take it on occasion.
I'm a cheap bastard, so I don't think it's worth buying the Blackberry Crown. Get the cheap Arrow Blackberry Brandy.
Arrow Blackberry Brandy?
Yeah, it's not the greatest. Yeah, I mean, if you want a good quality blackberry whiskey, I would agree with going with the Crown over anything else.
Okay. I mean, I'm just a Blackberry fan, so I mean...
I love it. It's good shit.
All right, so I opened up the next bottle.
I'm in.
So I am not a big fan of this. I've had this one for, I think,
half the bottle,
12 or 15 years. It took me about 8 years before I even opened it, and I still have half a bottle of it.
The color is a lot lighter than the last two, or last three. The last three kind of share the same color.
So
yes,
this one's a little different, and we'll have to default to Mr. Jim here for the description.
I smelled it, and it definitely has that smoky, peaty smell right off the rip.
Did we say what it was?
I have not yet.
Would you like me to?
Go ahead. Yes, please. Hey.
This is Johnny Walker Blue Label Blended Scotch Whiskey, distilled, blended and bottled in Scotland by John Walker and Sons Limited. A blend of our rarest whiskeys.
How do they spell John Walker?
They spell it John.
Yes.
Walker.
I'm so excited.
Daryl Starr, Happy New Year. Oh, so you got it for...
this is a special. This is a custom bottle.
Yeah, it was custom 15 years ago when I was in corporate, and you're not allowed to get gifts. But I still got one anyways.
Excellent.
You mean a donation?
Bottle number,
Yeah.
and then some numbers.
Oh, you got to read the numbers. Jim read the numbers.
Oh, well, I mean, if he's going to read the numbers, then.
I mean, you have to read the numbers because there's numbers.
People are going to Google it.
Bottle number, Fox, 14.
I thought he said fucks.
He did.
Yeah, F as in Fox. 14, 43998.
All right, now you know. Now you know
My
Daryl's
social
secret.
security number. You weren't supposed to read that.
You are
It's
old.
not my social.
You are old. That is not a long enough
Very
number.
smoky.
It is very smoky. I do not like the smell of this. It smells like this is a glass bottle, right? It smells like it was stored in a plastic bottle in the sun.
Huh.
That's what it smells like to me. It smells smoky
It's
and
way, way lighter and cleaner finish than I was anticipating based on the nose, though.
oh god, the smell.
Why do I feel I'm going to drink some glasses of it?
The smell is literally activating my gag reflex. I haven't even tried it yet.
Same. It's weird. It almost reminds me of like a toffee that got burnt plastic on it or something like
Yeah,
that.
like you left your toffee in a plastic bottle in the sun for
That
a year.
smell, it's always like a floral smell to me.
Yeah.
Every time I smell it.
That's Pete.
I could
It's like a floral.
Yeah.
I could see what you mean, but like
I know it's smoke.
yeah,
the
but
pea
it's
smoke.
not a flower. It's not a floral smell as in like oh, it smells like a rose. It's more like oh, it smells like a tulip. Like tulips don't they smell like a flower.
Hardy grass.
Yeah, but they don't smell like a good flower. They just smell like
I don't
a
hate
flower.
this. I kind of like this.
All right, I'll try it.
I'm with you actually. This is that's pleasant.
It's way better than I was expecting. Like you have, so when you're sampling something, you have kind of what hits your front, what I'll kind of say the middle once it develops a bit, and then how it finishes. This seems to hit more in the middle to me. There's a lot in the nose, and you smell a lot of that peat, that floral characteristic like you're talking. The finish is like light, like it goes away quickly.
Yeah,
Anything that happens is in the middle.
It's like strong smoke,
Yeah.
then the peat, and then like the smoke kind of lingers on the palate. The smoke is pleasant.
It is.
I like the smoke. I don't like the
Not
peat.
offensive at all. Yeah. It's heavy.
My palate feels like I chewed on a plastic bottle.
Knowing that's what Scotch is, I like it. I'm not gonna lie. That's very good. That's better than some of the cheap, shitty ones that I've had.
It's
For sure.
That is not a terrible Scotch. I'll give it that.
No, I like it.
But
No, but for the cost, I would never buy this bottle. Ever.
no,
Ever.
I imagine
No.
that one to be expensive. I know the
what's
Johnny
the-
Walkers can get up
I
there.
don't know what the Johnny Walker Blues is.
there's a UPC
barcode?
code on the back. I'll just scan it.
Well,
real
what
quick
I've
here.
seen at the gas station, there's the red, which is like $25 a fifth. The black, which is, I think that was like 30 or 40 a fifth. The blue, I think, is like 70 or more, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a couple above it, I believe.
$200.
Yep, there we go. Yeah.
Yep, sounds about right.
It's got 5-star rating out of 2 ratings.
Yeah, but if I had a choice between the Walker or the Wellers, 'cause they're both $200 bottles.
Weller, 100%.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm very much. I've learned. Like I said, I wanted to try some of the higher end whiskeys and bourbons and scotches and all of that, and I tried some that were in a decent price point, and everything I found in the Scotch world just led me right back to the bourbon world.
But a Scotch
Still
drinker,
don't like Scotch.
Scotch drinker would argue that blue would be better than Weller's.
I mean,
Scotch drinker.
we can't all be right in choosing Weller, so somebody's got to take the slack up and choose something else. That's fine.
I'll take the blue label. I mean, it's a hard choice. Definitely, Weller's is something I'd want more out of. Like, I feel like having a whiskey tasting. But I mean, if I had a bottle of blue label that was just like, well, I mean, just have some fun with some Scotch. I mean, that'd be one I could. I could chug down a bit.
So I still, unfortunately, I need to develop more of the palate in the Scotch world because I screwed up and I went from Johnny Walker Red and Glenfiddich 12-year right to Ardbeg Wee Beastie, which is like their heavy smoke, heavy peat. Like, that bottle has taken me longer to drink than any bottle of liquor I've ever had in my life because it was so bad. To me, it was so smoky. And we talked to Mr. Bill about this during one of our episodes, and I mentioned that. He's like, oh, that's a good one. It's a heavy smoke. I'm like, yeah, that's why I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And it took me a long time, and I was just straight up. I remember what was going on in my head. It was like, I'm having some drinks. I don't care. And I ran out of the Weller that I was drinking at the time. Like, well, shit. I got some Coke in the fridge. And I killed the rest of the bottle that night.
Okay.
There was a time in my life where I drank Johnny Walker Black, a bottle of it every day.
Oh,
And for a while. And I don't like the blue. Every time I try
I've never
it,
had the
I
black.
just don't like the blue.
I haven't.
What about the black label? Do you like more than
It was
the
cheap
blue?
and I wanted to get shit-faced.
Well, okay, fair enough. No, I mean, but like,
I
if you
didn't
don't
really
the
like
blue-
it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
yeah, I've had black and double black, and I'm not a fan of either. I'm also not a fan
I've
of this.
only had the red. I don't hate it. I don't mind it. Like, depending if the options are there, this would definitely be.
But I would take Elijah Craig, Eagle Rare, or Weller's over the blue.
1,000%.
I would only because it's bourbon, and I prefer
Agreed.
bourbon in every.
I'm
I
with you
prefer
there.
bad bourbon to decent Scotch.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and it's nothing against Scotch. It's not my forte.
Yeah.
I like bourbon better.
Not a Scotch guy.
Yeah.
We were talking shit about gin before you joined here.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking shit about gin.
How dare you?
Yeah. Keith's a gin guy.
You like gin?
I do like gin.
What's your favorite gin?
Ooh, that's a toughie. Right now, I think,
Top few, I should say.
yeah. So there's one that I found from Kyoto called Roku that was very nice. That
Buddy
hits
has that
super
on his
smooth.
TV.
Yeah, just like that. And then there's
Is that like an American gin or?
no, it's from Japan. Although their gin profiles, I guess the main difference for that is like the botanicals that they use for it. So you get things like I think that one has like yuzu fruit, for example. It's a citrus that's from
I
Japan.
love
so,
yuzu. I
yeah.
love yuzu.
Super
Never
solid.
heard of it.
So a lot of cool ones from there, and then also one that's a little bit more local. I really enjoyed Bodie McBoatface, which was the one run that they did for Three Floyds over in Indiana.
Oh, yeah, when they had their distillery open for like a year.
Yeah,
I keep seeing ads on their Facebook for different liquors they make, and I want to try them all.
I don't think the distillery, they don't think it's open anymore, so they must just be selling what they made.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they built that giant
I
ass
like
distillery,
where you're going.
and that the year that Paul came with us was when me and Paul sat in there and actually tried some of their whiskey. All they had was white whiskey because they hadn't had time to barrel age anything yet.
Oh shit.
I think didn't Paul buy a bottle of their white
I'm okay
whiskey?
with heavy
I
on this
think
one.
he did. Yeah, I think there was.
Oh yeah, this smells good.
No, that's
Oh,
way
that's
too much.
dark.
Jesus Christ.
You're fine.
I'll take whatever you don't want on this.
So
I
this
love it.
one is not on the bottle. You can't read it. This one was donated. Well, I don't even want to say what it is, but it's a root beer moonshine.
It smells so good.
There's so much vanilla in this, though.
It smells like a really, really good
I've had this
quality
before,
root
haven't
beer.
I?
Yes, you have.
okay. I thought so.
You know who makes it.
I know.
I'm willing to bet we all do.
You know who makes it too.
I have a bottle of. I'm willing to bet that I actually have a bottle of their. I think their 2-year smoked bourbon. at home. Well, like this much of it
Oh, a
left.
little bit left.
Yeah. I have one snort of it left.
Yeah, the Amaretti's really good too.
Do you remember-
with the
This is
little
good.
weird pungent taste in the back end? But that's the alcohol, I think.
Did
the
you ever
moonshine.
have
I don't
those
even taste the
like those
punch.
root beer popsicles that it's like
Yep, I know
it's
where
like
you're
the
going.
root beer over top of the vanilla ice cream?
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate those.
I fucking love those.
no.
Tastes like this. It's got all that vanilla, like the vanilla ice cream in the center
Yeah.
with that like root beer on the. This is man.
That's nice.
I like
Yeah.
it, but there's a lot more vanilla than I remember in this. It's very, very dominant.
I like the vanilla in this. This tastes like really good French vanilla ice cream.
But I couldn't tell you what
yeah.
proof this is either. I have no idea.
It doesn't taste very strong.
I did
I
finally
bet you
find
it's
my
got a
hydrometer.
strong back end though. Just because it has an upfront taste that we're covering up the flavors for that back end.
This is the kind of stuff that gets real dangerous real fast.
This could be. Johnny could finish this bottle.
Oh yeah, I
Don't
could
even-
definitely.
Don't even tempt me.
I would.
Keith, did you already go back for seconds?
I did. I was like, oh, let me pour myself just a little nip, and I was like, no, excuse me, sorry. Can I get a half cup
He's
of this,
clearly
please?
not learned yet. You know, you gotta go little because it builds and it builds, and before
no.
you know it, you're fucked
He knows.
up.
He's good.
This is really good. I
This
mean,
is. Like,
it
I
tastes,
want more.
It tastes like there's some
Already.
it's very sweet, syrupy. Like I feel like you could get very hungover drinking this, but
a little more of that.
it is so tasty.
There you go.
God, that is perfect.
Yeah.
Like if someone was like if someone says, "Hey, do you want to try like some root beer whiskey?" I'd be like, "No, that sounds fucking gross." This is not that.
I've been
Root
drinking
beer moonshine.
Yeah.
Oh, moonshine's whiskey. You know what I mean?
So I have found at some gas stations lately root beer, 99 root beer. And I don't know the brand, but I found a root beer 100 proof at the gas station last time I was there. And I'll get that and some root beer, and I'll use that as mixers. And the problem is, I have to stop myself because I will drink the whole thing and get so fucking annihilated that I can't drive home. And I have to stop myself before that happens.
So the taste of this, though, it does have that root beer syrup. Like you got some sort of a root beer syrup concept.
You can get root beer extract from soda making, and you can
Pour it
start with
into
that,
the moonshine, and it's got that like sweetness from it.
Oh, it's amazing. Absolutely incredible.
So good.
Do you taste the moonshine at all?
No, not at
No.
all.
A little
No,
on
I
the
don't
back end, I do.
That's super dangerous.
I don't taste it at all.
I get none whatsoever. in this
I don't
entire
taste the
profile.
bite, but on the
No
back
bite.
end, I taste like kind of a. Oh my god!
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
Almost like the vanilla alcohol, like you know how if you have,
Yes.
like, if you've ever tried like just pure vanilla
Straight
extract,
vanilla.
it's just like, oh, geez, that's certainly vanilla. It's like it almost has that. bite at
Not
the
what
end
I
of it.
expected.
Through any tasting technique that I just made Daryl scoff at, I taste no moonshine qualities in this whatsoever.
Well, the amount of stuff you've had in the back of your throat.
Got him.
Today. So that just further enforces the level of experience I have in standing by that statement.
Fair enough.
Touche.
I love that, and I almost don't want to drink the next thing just because,
I do 'cause I like
end on a high
Like
note.
this next one, I know I don't like it. It is. Well, I mean, it's not bad,
Is
but
it
it's
weird that I'm more excited for this than
Not at all.
what
Yeah,
just white moonshine.
I love white whiskey. I love white liquors.
I do
and
too.
the challenge,
be fair.
it's a challenge. To be fair,
To be fair.
thank you. It's a challenge with a lot of that, discerning a lot of those finer points because of that. There's nothing else there. It's just that pure liquor extract coming right out of the still, bottled.
You know what? I almost
No,
want to keep the
find
root
it.
beer in my glass and then add that in there, and I might be okay because I know what this tastes like.
Oh,
already.
that would pump it up. That would definitely
I'm probably
pump it
doing
up. Yeah.
Is this what's on the label here?
Yep, that's what it is.
I can, if you want, I would recommend rinsing the root beer out of your glass before you drink this one
Good call.
because it's gonna be subtle. I had to rinse my glass like 4 times after that Johnny Walker to get the smoke out. Paw Paw Brewing Company. Mm-hmm. White spirits made from grain and cane. I like that.
It should be sweet.
Premium handcrafted spirits, 50% ABV, 100 proof. Bottled by Paw Paw Brewing in Paw Paw, Michigan. Paw Paw, y'all. Just the government warning on this one. So it's white whiskey. I mean, what do you
not gonna
expect?
What is the government? What if I'm pregnant?
Are you?
I don't know. In
It's
this day and age,
It's
it could happen.
2025. We can't judge or, you know.
I'm gonna push you down the stairs.
No, I can't be because I was gonna say something about Johnny, but never mind. Back of the throat. Can't get pregnant that way. Moving on.
Yeah, no, there's a country.
We shouldn't.
We're not gonna go.
We
into
shouldn't
that.
have. I guess we shouldn't have fed the animals alcohol. Apparently.
Oh no!
Don't feed the monkeys moonshine.
It boils. There is a scientifically proven case where that did actually happen.
Got pregnant from swallowing? Shit. I need to tell my girlfriends to stop.
Sometimes.
Oh! I meant to tell you this. We discussed it, but not on the air because I keep forgetting. So you remember the amaranth?
Might be a reason
stuff
for that.
Oh yeah, it was disgusting.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want to give it
The
any more credit.
lactobacillus stuff. So I got really bored one night, and I tried to see if I could find it because I have a problem with finding hard to find shit that I can usually find.
You want some gamer girl beer?
Well, I found the brewery, and I started delving into the availability. And there is a brewery that is known for that. There are 3 other models that they make a product line of beers made in that way. So there's a total of 4 that are available made with that.
And you know what pisses me off about it is they're just extracting lactobacillus.
Yes.
So
It's done in a clean lab.
it's
and
literally the same lactobacillus that you would buy at the brew
Yes.
store. Like lactobacillus is a specific chemical.
Yes.
Like, so where you extracted it from is fucking irrelevant.
Are we back on this topic?
Yes.
Yes.
What the fuck?
I'm still
It's my
mad
fault.
about it.
It's my fault.
I'm still mad about it. Because you know who amaranth is.
Yeah, it is totally different because it's her. Whatever you just said.
Lactobacillus.
Lactobacillus.
Are you getting
not
excited
just
there?
Dude, like, if I could get her lactobacillus in a beer, are you kidding me,
Don't
bro?
challenge me because I can find that shit. And I found that there's
Listen,
4 of them.
You
and
found enough shit by making us drink the strongest beers in the world. That's enough
But
shit.
do we want to drink the weirdest beers in the world?
That's
now?
not even the weirdest beer. That's just the cringiest beer.
I couldn't drink it. I'm out.
You know, I bet you can get aftermarket
Wait, show me a
copies
picture
by
of it
going on.
first.
Oh, you drink it if you saw it. I'm not saying she's not an attractive lady. She definitely is. I just hate the whole concept of like e-celebrity, and it's like I got rich from having tits and selling my pussy juice in beer. Like I just don't think that that is a thing that should ever
Let's
exist.
go to the liquor here.
I think that's more interesting than talking about your throat. Shit.
I wasn't talking about my throat. I'm talking about the liquor. Goddamn.
Huh? That tastes like
Like nothing.
Like alcohol.
yeah.
I haven't even sipped
Grainy.
it yet.
It's
It
very,
is.
It's very grainy.
It is pretty smooth though. It is pretty smooth for just being like
Just straight alcohol.
White dog.
unadulterated
Yeah.
alcohol.
Okay, I can't do that. Oh my gosh.
Again, this
Blend it first.
feels like one of those
It's hot.
moonshines or one of those liquors that they added a little bit of vegetable glycerin in to smooth it out, to round it out.
I would hope not. I mean,
A lot of companies do it.
they do. They do.
That's
Much
how
better.
That's
you
much
mellow
better.
it out.
Never mind. I'm not going to say that on the
So
air.
I had about a half ounce of this Pawpaw White in my glass. Tried it, couldn't do it. So I poured root beer, moonshine, into it, filled my glass halfway. Much better.
You know, this as moonshine, this is phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie, this is very good.
I mean, it's good moonshine. I've had better,
Oh yeah.
closer to the source.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely
Holy shit, that's a hell of a pour.
I pick up that
Oh my god.
you can almost tell with the body of it too. You can feel like there's glycerin in this for sure.
I hope not.
Glycerin. Is that copyrighted if we sing it? You know, are we gonna get copyright striked?
They can come after us for all 30 cents we have. Like, come on.
I mean, I'm sorry to say this though. It tastes burned. It tastes like the mash was a little bit burned when they were distilling this to me, or it just got that hot. But there's
I don't
an
get that,
overly
but your
grainy
palate's better than
characteristic
mine.
into this that maybe the grains were just a little hot.
I think it's supposed to be mixed anyways.
Yeah, I mean it's probably most of this kind of stuff that's super
It
strong.
tastes much
is.
better.
I believe it. Well, can I grab a splash of that, please? Just I have barely much of that, so just a half.
I've got Bush stuck in my head.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You got a bush in your head?
yeah. That song, Glycerin.
Oh.
Yeah, now it's yep.
Add some root beer to it.
See, now it's all
Mine's
tastes
gone.
the root beer.
That's your fault.
I drank mine.
I'll pour another.
Working on it.
Do you want some root beer?
It does help.
It does.
Oh, I mean,
It's actually really good with the root beer.
yeah, but I'd like to enjoy it for what it is,
It's
even if I hate it.
dedication. This is my kind of guy.
It's like drinking the snake whiskey. Can we talk about that?
No, that
we
was
can.
terrible.
Are we allowed to
liked
talk
it.
about it?
Can.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Tell
I
us.
did.
Tell us
I'm
about
sorry,
that.
not the snake venom.
Yeah.
the snake whiskey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about that experience.
that was actually
Keith.
So that was Mr. Keith that procured that for us. We've talked about it a couple times, and that was fantastic.
I
And
want to hear Keith's story.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to Japan for a second time, and figured I wanted to bring back something that would kind of impress the boys, something we couldn't get here, and so I found out about a whiskey that they put a live viper in, and it drowns and becomes part of the whiskey, and apparently the venom of said snake will stop your liver from processing alcohol, which means you don't start
takes you
getting
about
less.
half the drinks to feel it.
Well, it does, yeah, and it also lasts for way longer. I noticed that
yeah.
once you hit a plateau or once you hit to whatever level you're at, you're going to be there for a while because
So there was the night you brought that we sampled it, and then there was a second wave of sampling that we were part of both, and we were here, and then we were at a local location, and then we went to a secondary location after the primary location, and it was one of those like we each had like 2 beers that night, and we were feeling it all the way through a PBR at the second location. And it was just a different kind of buzz that just lingered, and it didn't go away, and it just sustained so much longer than anything else. It was awesome.
So that alcohol is called habushu, which is basically snake whiskey, and it is from Okinawa. That's where you primarily find it. It was very difficult to find because I did not go so far south as Okinawa. The farthest I went down was Osaka, and in Osaka, I did find a bar that was serving it, and that was very interesting because it was this big jar. You could tell they just like continually either reused the snake or
Yeah, it's like those jars on the back of the bar. They're filled with like pineapple and vodka or whatever.
Yeah.
But in Japan, it's dead snakes and whiskey.
So there's
exactly, yeah.
there's 2 ways that they make it. There's a modern way, and then there's a traditional way. So the traditional, they put a snake in a bottle that's alive, and they pour
and
the
drown it.
whiskey in and drown it.
Yep.
And the idea is it's squirting the venom out because obviously it's pissed off, it's drowning, and thus that. The secondary way is they anesthetize the snake, they pour it in the bottle. It's a more humane way to kill the snake, and then it's got to sit longer. And then depending distribution, so obviously bringing it to the United States, you can't really bring in a venomous viper, even dead. So a lot of it gets rebottled, smaller bottles, obviously no snake. I couldn't read the bottle because it was in Japanese, but
But I was kind of curious. Any issues with customs bringing that back?
Well, and that's actually why I picked the bottle that I picked, because it was a smaller bottle, so I didn't have to worry about like size limits, because I knew that there was some there, but trying to navigate the websites of both of the countries to figure out how customs works was a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
And then I also knew that there were certain things about food and wildlife that could or could not be an issue, and from what I understand, it's actually not an issue at all. Like, so if you bring the one with the snake back, that shouldn't be an issue. Like, I did a lot of research on it. That being said, the majority of the research I did was on my way to the airport. So I found an Okinawa-based store in Tokyo, and they had it, and they had. A lot of it was out of stock, like especially the ones that I was looking for, which had smaller bottles with the snake in it. So it was either you get a 3-liter bottle with a snake in it, or you get a half-liter bottle that doesn't have a snake in it.
and if you go back, we'll talk. I'll get you some cash for a 3-liter.
Sounds good. I mean, because it sounds like it wasn't going to be a problem at all after I did some additional research.
Yeah, I was unaware of that. So everything I knew about that whiskey said it was a pain in the ass to get into the U.S.
And I think for a lot of people, it's probably the exact same thing. Okay, let me look up every website. They don't have any information. I don't know if I need to do anything about this, but yeah.
So how much was that? I'm like conversions.
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it was probably about $50 bottle for a half liter. So it wasn't outrageously
bad,
expensive. No, yeah, it was pretty good. The true one that had like the snake in it and everything else, I think that was. Oh, it would. Let's see. It would convert.
See, if the snake was in it, I'd probably almost not want to open it. Just display.
Well, right. I mean, it's a great piece to have on the counter for sure. But I think that one was around maybe like 200, 250, something like that.
Okay.
That would really change everything about the SOB, though. Just saying.
Snake venom liquor. Jesus. I don't know if that barrel ages very well.
I would imagine.
When you were in Japan, the cost of living was it higher or lower?
Lower than here for the most part. I mean, the yen is in a worse place than the dollar. So I mean, you get a meal for $4 to $8 instead of $8 to $12. You know, I mean, whenever you go out there, that kind of situation. So I mean, it's just a little bit cheaper. I mean, if you're in Tokyo, it's comparable to being like in New York. So I mean, you've got to, you know, hotels are going to be $200 a night or whatever, and you know,
$200 a night in New York would be a steal.
Well,
yes,
that's true. I mean, so I guess in that sense, it is actually pretty cheap there. But they also have a lot more amenities that are kind of geared towards people who are traveling and people who are by themselves and stuff like that. I mean, even outside of tourism, a lot of it is for the workforce. It's like if they don't live in Tokyo, but they need to stay there because they work 12-hour week, days, and it's like, okay, well, here are these, capsule hotels. Here's, smaller hotels. Here's, different internet cafes, like all these different options for very low cost stay overnight and amenities and things of that nature.
Yeah, the salary man is a thing
for sure.
Yeah, it's they do definitely have a different work culture. Like we have a very serious work culture here, but Japan is definitely different.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I agree, Johnny. I agree.
Yeah, we should probably call this one to a wrap. We've been going for a while.
Well, this is a special episode.
Absolutely.
We've never done bourbons and whiskeys before.
It's still high gravity. I feel bad because there's like 4 people that we've talked about inviting when we do this, but it's a spur of the moment.
We'll do it again.
We had to pilot
I'm okay with this. Yeah. I've been saving something special for this.
Well, good.
Pales in comparison to one of what's here, but I mean that just means, like you said, we have to do it again.
I'll bring in some Jameson that we can sample.
I'm in.
Hey, next time we could do a gin tasting. I've only got about 9 bottles that we could go.
Oh,
through.
really?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have no gin to supply for this, but I've got a phenomenal story from Bombay Sapphire Gin.
Jim
and then I killed an
loves gin.
entire
Yeah,
fifth
I
of
was just
that.
gonna say I hate gin, so like convert me.
It's much better than the cherry sour episode.
I had said earlier in the episode that I also didn't like bourbon initially because I wasn't exposed to it, and then once I started drinking more of it, I found bourbons I liked. So I think gin will probably be similar.
Well, and the gin varies so much in what they put into it. Like, it's definitely worth
We were talking.
trying some
I've
others.
had one that was bottled 1902, spent 60 years at the bottom of Lake Huron, and we tried it when it was over 100 years old, and it was phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
You'll have to listen to the episode to hear that story.
For sure. I got to catch up. I have definitely heard some key episodes, but...
Stay tuned for the next episode.
Hey, 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 hey. Smoke weed every day.
If you didn't learn anything today, at least remember this. Beer's the answer that makes everything better.
Can't remember the question, but who cares when you have a cold one in your hand?
Remember, everybody, drink responsibly, drink high gravity.
Most importantly, drink well.
Okay, not the well. Life's too short for bad beer.
Stay frothy, my friends.